What is going on, guys? Satan here with another random video that only 5 people will ever see. This time on Borderlands 2. So as you may or may not know, Borderlands 3 is releasing very soon. And since I've been playing the second game in preparation, I decided to put together a quick list of a few types of guns I would like to see return. Now, while there are plenty of specific ones I'd love to be able to use in the newer game, this will include some of the less popular ones, as I would be shocked if Gearbox decided not to bring back fan favorites like Infinity and the Skull Masher. So before I begin, let me know what types of guns you want to see in Borderlands 3, and let's get into it. So I may have just lied to you about not including popular guns. Who here has heard of the Florentine before? Now, of those of you who has almost never switched this gun out of your main inventory since reaching the OP levels. Since it deals both shock and slag damage simultaneously, it's pretty much a must-have for Ultimate Vault Hunter playthrough. However, we do know that slag won't be returning for Borderlands 3, regardless of whether you liked or hated it. I personally thought it was okay, but I digress. But we do know that Malwan guns will fire 2 elements that you can switch between. So I would be surprised if there aren't at least 1 or 2 of those where you have the same simultaneous element damage that the Florentine has. Personally, I would like to see a fire and ice combination, even though it's somewhat impractical. But, I mean, there are many possibilities. Let's wrap up this section with one of the game's newest guns, the Peak Opener. As far as I can remember, it's the only other gun in the game that deals dual elemental damage, being explosive and shock in this case. And that just makes this gun absolutely insane, especially with characters like Gage that can utilize the shock. So it's definitely part of my main loadout for her now. This gun will pretty much wipe out anything in your path, including yourself. So just like the Sword Explosion, the Casual Carnage, or the Norfleet, you definitely want to use with caution. However, it can also pick you back up just as easily, so it's up to you to determine if it's worth it or not. Hopefully Borderlands 3 has a couple dozen guns of a similar nature. That's right, next up is the elusive Twister Shotgun and Greed Revolver, the only 2 Jacobs weapons in the game that can deal elemental damage. Now, I am somewhat biased, as Jacobs weapons are probably my favorite. Can you blame me though? I mean, they have incredibly high fire rate, pretty damn good crit damage, and they look awesome. So now just take that and add elemental, fire, shock, whatever, and they just get even better. Even though they're only blue rarity, and sometimes an absolute fucking nightmare to obtain, they can be pretty damn good guns to have. Especially since in Borderlands 3 now we'll be able to display weapons in Sanctuary 3. So if I had to pick, both the Twister and the Greed actually would probably be some of my top candidates for this display function, by looks alone. However, since neither of these guns will probably return, here's hoping some new Jacobs weapons with elemental damage will be available, and hopefully not as much of a bitch to get. It's no surprise to anyone that's ever played a Borderlands game before that it references damn near everything that's ever been created. Other video games, TV shows, classic movies, and even some of the more obscure. Can be the name of a mission, flavor text, guns, skills, heads, challenges, the actual gun itself, which is what I'll be drawing attention to, and even entire locations. So there are probably even a bunch I've never discovered after 5+ years of playing this game. Of course, discovering these references is half, or some other smaller fraction, of the fun, and Gearbox definitely knows this, so I doubt I need to worry. The main ones I am aware of are from Fallout, the movie 7,
what's in the box?
and my personal favorite, Bioshock. Now, if you would kindly just indulge me for a second, I must draw some attention to the current reference on screen, as it hails from what is my favorite game in existence. You may have noticed the Bioshock gamer pick that I have at the beginning of most videos. Yeah, that's how much I like the series. So if you've never played it, I can't recommend enough that you go do that. Plus, the EV is actually a pretty good gun, and the Big Daddy Little Sister enemies that you have to kill to get it just makes the reference that much better. However, rather than any of these specific guns return, EV being the exception for me, I'd rather we get a ton of new ones from more recent titles, and also some throwbacks. So what about you guys? I would love another Bioshock one, considering same publisher and the possibility of another entry, but personally, if I had to pick one, I would find it unforgivable if there isn't a Mad Max-style Jacobs shotgun. Well, I was gonna have a few more guns on this quote-unquote list, but I decided against it for reasons. Anyway, I do hope some of you found this somewhat entertaining and/or are ready for a new Borderlands game. If not, well, this sucks for you. Also, not that it matters, but I probably won't be putting out any more videos for quite a while, so now is the perfect time to unsubscribe.
Oh dear.
Bet that is the first time you have ever heard that on YouTube before. However, if this video does get 20 views, let's say, before Borderlands 3 is out, so that comes out September 13th, 2019, I will consider doing something for that. Maybe just on references I find, I don't know. Of course, I'm pretty content either way that won't happen, so it's a gamble I'm willing to make. Anyway, thanks for watching, keep gaming, and hope you guys enjoy Borderlands 3.